Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Ant. Today I'm going to be talking about SHLL again. I'm going to be giving an update on technical analysis, news, and what's yet to come for the stock, as well as my rating at the very end. Now, I did do a really extensive DD on this one before. You'll find it in the description that explains everything from the presentation itself, where the products are coming, and the Highland Tortoise merger. Nonetheless, I really think this one as well is important to watch. Make sure to drop a like to this video to help the channel grow, subscribe, and leave notifications on. At any point if you feel you're missing out on the technical analysis here, there's a playlist in the description below that explains each of these technical indicators and what they mean. Jump right into it. On the month 1 day, you get to see a negative reversal here is going to be attempted sometime next week, as you get to see the MACD is going towards the negative side. And you get to see that the last time that happened, it was somewhere around the 13th of July. Now, yes, granted it did not tank, but it did go on from seeing somewhere around 34.70 all the way to around the 20s, which is almost, I'd say, 40% down. Now, on the ADX, it shows in that there was a very strong trend, and that trend kind of pressed on a little bit on the brakes sometime between around the 2nd and the 3rd of September, where that trend has been broken. William percent R puts it at a bullish oversold port. So it is oversold on the million percent R, but remember on the ADX, that is a little bit of a bearish sign where it retracts from a strong trend. Momentum here seems to be a little bit sloppy down after it has reversed from that kind of positive trend, and the MACD shows in a negative reversal is due for the stock. Now the really good thing about this one here, and the bullish thing, is the moving averages. They're all bullish. The SMA is above the 30 EMA, the stock price is above the 50 SMA, and the stock price above the 200 SMA. If it does dip into the trading action zone between the 10 SMA and the 30 EMA, it is likely to see a reversal. And it's still, as of now, it did kind of test it and then it bounced right back. But that trading action zone ends up around the 37 cents on the bottom. Sorry, $37. Moving on towards the 1 hour perspective, we get to see a little bit of a similar indication here on the on the ADX. It does support that there is a very strong trend, a very strong possibility for trend forming, and that is a negative trend. William percent R puts this one really closer to overbought in the extended market, and momentum here seems to be a little bit rough. MACD shows that it's going to be testing a positive reversal on Monday morning. And the volumes here have been a little bit rough, but still it has a lot of interest on stock. Moving averages here look a little bit rough. So what we get to see, other than the 200 being above the 200 SMA, which is bullish, you get to see it's above the 50 SMA, 30 EMA is above the 10 SMA, and the stock price is just sitting on the VWAP, and it's in the bearish trading action zone where negative reversals are likely. So all around, almost in the moving averages, it does look bearish here. Now what I'm going to do quickly is I'm going to do 6 months 1 week to try to show you what the trend here on the MACD. So on the ADX, it does show that there is a very unsustainable trend that has been quite positive for quite a bit. It's oversold at the current time. Momentum is a little bit seeing for pullback, but the MACD seems to be still positive with a great power. So on a week-on-week analysis basis, that candle though looks like it's bearish and it looks like it might actually start a bit falling down. Now, on the moving average band, we get to see it's expected to trade between 35.76, 40.09, and 43.94 in terms of the top. Moving now to Fibonacci retracements, and I'm going all the way back to where the 950s were. So I'm going to go right about here. And we get to see that there is a current resistance right now at 48.20. And one below 39.93. And then we're going to be doing supports and resistances. We get to see the current support of 47.78, and then below that we're looking at 45.41. Below that we're looking at 43.88. Below that we're looking at 42.79, 41.89, and then the 40.17 is a significant one here. Now, significant resistances here where we're looking at is 48.60. 48.16, multiple bottoms, 49.57, 50.02, 50.34, 51.55, and the 52.07 mark. Now let's take another look in terms of news. So in terms of news, it looks like 2 Sigma Securities have bought around a very small position of almost around 9,000 shares for on the higher end of the 8,000 in a 13 FA form. Nothing else seems to be significant ever for September except that transaction. Now, insider doesn't look like there's any kind of new insider shares being added or sold, so they're currently holding, and that looks like it's a positive news for us. The next big thing is that made it kind of front a little is the meeting for stockholders for the merger on the vote for September 28th, 2020. The expectation is that this will move on and it will pass. This is a really highly anticipated merger, and I did discuss all the potentials it has in my last video. This basically gives a little bit more details on the kind of vote that is to be expected and this one as well. So basically kind of puts in on the details for all the proposals in there. Now, this is the company's website. It has a lot of exciting information on there, and I'll be very much interested to see as well the Hylon one, which I did cover in the last video. I would very much recommend that you would look into that as well. So this is the Hylon website. So since you're merging two companies at the same time, you expect that they have two different products, and this one really kind of completes the deal. So, and what do you think about the stock, and how does it compare to competitors like Nebula or let's say Tesla? So yes, they do have an EV kind of field for this. I did go through the presentation, so I don't want to go through it again, but if you go back to my previous video, you'll find that they do already have existing hybrid models. That is amazing. If you have existing hybrid models, you really think before the the EV revolution, we had the hybrids for a long time, and that was the first stepstone. So it does have a lot more products. There was a comparison between Nebula and Tesla, and you get to see their product is a bit cheaper on the price range scale, yet still has a lot of good quality and specs. At the same time, it has hybrids. It has new models coming out for EV as soon as I believe the end of next year. So there's a lot of different projects for this one here, and the anticipated merger is that it's going to probably go through. Now moving on towards what I think about the stock. Now, if you do have the risk and you bought somewhere around the $20 range, you might want to hold all the way until let's say it breaks the $30 or $40 mark, the $39.74. But let's say you bought somewhere around here, or just somewhere around this candle here. I would expect the majority if you probably have bought it in this region rather than from this region here, as that was more off the quiet zone. So it looks like on the 1-day perspective is that it is attempting that negative reversal, and as soon as you see that negative reversal, the problem becomes in people already have priced in that merger. The expectation is yes, it's gonna merger, and the day that they're gonna announce the merger, it's gonna drop. And that kind of sucks because you're sitting there, you're like, well, you know, we expected, that's the positive news. But the market has been a little bit choppy on that way. So I would say it's going to be for long term. It's because this company has amazing potential, amazing products. If you're going for the long term, and this one long term, I would say perhaps a year to two, it's going to be like as an investment, because this is one of the investment stocks I was referring to before. This one is definitely a speculative hold. When it comes in towards short term, I would say consider selling, just because I do see a little bit of a dip coming, and then buy it again on the dip, you know. And if it does dip and it kind of reaches here, you can just take a look at it until it reaches a strong support, like for instance 37.16, and then buy it again. I would say buy this one because at that point, because it's a really good stock, but you need to look at it when it stabilizes. You don't want to buy it and like you don't want to lose on some profits that you haven't locked in yet. But what do you think about the sticker? Make sure you mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like. You have a wonderful day.